Hello bookworms! Today I'm going to be sharing my April book haul with you. Once again, I have a bunch of special editions to show you, and I also have quite a few backlist books that I am really excited about. So, without further ado, here we go. First up, I have The Art of Prophecy by Wesley Chu. This is a broken binding special edition, so this just came out in the UK. It's a fantasy novel that is inspired by martial arts. It has really beautiful sprayed pages, also has a really nice map, but I really love the naked hardcover on this one. I think it's just quite beautiful. The spine says, she had learned from experience that murder was a terrible way to start a relationship. Seems like good advice. And then the tops of the pages are black. So, book number 1. Also from the Broken Binding, I have The Forgotten Citadel by Michael Moorcock. This is a story that takes place within the world of Elric of Melniboné. I keep saying Melniboné. I don't know why. Like, I can see it. I know how it's read, but like for years, I just, no matter what, say Melniboné. But I finally said it correctly, so this was like something to be celebrated. But again, super, super beautiful edition. Absolutely love the sword on the sprayed pages. This is really like what got me. And then the top actually has quite nice stenciled edges, top and bottom as well. And this is the naked hardcover. I believe I read that this story is good to read between books 1 and 2 in the series, so I'm gonna have to do that. Then I have A House with Good Bones by T. Kingfisher. This is T. Kingfisher's newest release. It is a horror novel. I believe it's a southern, like, gothic inspired novel about a house in North Carolina. This is the UK cover. Really love it. Again, it's another broken binding edition. It has really pretty, like, plum sprayed pages, and I really like the roses and just the like gold door knocker, but then also it has a really cute key, like skeleton key. And this one actually came signed by T. Kingfisher, which is super cool. Next, I have a set of 4 books from Illumicrate, and that is the Wayfarer series by Becky Chambers. This is probably going to be the next sci-fi series that I read. I'm pretty excited about it. Everyone seems to love it. It's very character driven. It's space opera, but it's, I think, kind of like on the cozy side. The first book is The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, and none of these have dust jackets. All of these are naked hardcovers. They have galaxy sprayed edges, and oh man, they're just so beautiful. Again, galaxy end papers and signed by Becky Chambers. The second book is A Closed and Common Orbit. Again, naked, beautiful galaxy pages. And this one is once again signed by Becky Chambers. Record of a Spaceborne Few, again with the galaxy motif, and again signed by the author. And the last book in the series is The Galaxy in the Ground Within, obviously by Becky Chambers. Again, really pretty galaxy pages, and signed by Becky. So really cool that they actually got her to sign all 4 books in the series. A lot of times when there are special editions, the author is only signing like the first book because it's a lot on someone's hand, but they got her to sign all 4, so that's like pretty special. Then I got the newly released deluxe editions of Dune Messiah and Children of Dune, both by Frank Herbert. These match the edition of Dune that was released, I want to say it was like 2 or 3 years ago now, but I really love these. I think the like shimmery covers are really pretty. They both have sprayed pages. I was actually kind of surprised. I thought maybe this one would have like magenta pages, but they went for blue on both of them. And the first one, on my shelf, yeah. The first one actually has the same blue pages too, so maybe that's why they just kind of like stuck in theme. I am planning on reading Dune later this year, and I'm very excited to have these copies to pick up. Underneath the dust jacket, there is a quote. So this one says, "I will face my fear," has very cool end papers. Alternatively, if you don't have the first book in the series yet, they're also selling the first 3 as a box set. So you can get all 3 of them in one go. And it's actually cheaper, I think, to get all 3 books than it is to like buy 2 of them individually. So maybe I should have waited, but it's fine. And then on Children of Dune, underneath the dust jacket, it says, "Only I Will Remain," and then it also has, again, really pretty end papers. Then Barnes & Noble released another one of their, like, leather-bound, I was gonna say classics, but this is not a classic book. It's an Indiana Jones book, and I just thought that this was really cool. I really like the cover and everything. I also like really love Indiana Jones, so I thought this was like a fun thing to have for my collection. I don't think I'm necessarily going to read this one. It has adaptations into novels of Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, and The Last Crusade. All of them have been adapted from a screenplay into a novelization. So I like the movies. I don't necessarily think I need to read a novelization of it, but I just, again, think it's like a fun thing to have for the collection. This is the spine. I like that it has Indy's hat and whip on it. And then this is the back. And then there's also gold, like gilded pages. These are the end papers. Got the idol in there, a snake, or lots of snakes. I think it's quite cool. Next, I have the Waterstones edition of One for My Enemy by Olivia Blake. This is a novel that was previously published by Olivia Blake like years ago independently, and now that the Atlas 6 has been picked up, Tor has also been picking up and republishing her older novels as well. So this was one of them. I'm excited to read something outside of the Atlas world from Olivia. I really like her writing style. And yeah, the Waterstones one is just so pretty. I love the pages. There's nothing at all on the naked hardcover, so good to know. I didn't know that before I got it. And then this is the artwork on the end papers. So this one has to deal with two rival families, and I think that they're in New York City and they're like vying to have control of the city, and they're like magical families. Anyway, sounds really good. Very excited to read it. And I do know that Fairy Loot and Illumicrate are both going to be doing editions of this book too. So we'll see what I end up liking most and keeping, because I definitely don't, guess I can't say definitely because I haven't read it yet, but I most likely will not need 3 copies of this book. Next, the Fairy Loot March adult book of the month was The Foxglove King by Hannah Witten. They did such a beautiful job with this edition. It is absolutely beautiful. Though I have to say, my copy ended up coming damaged. So I was like, oh no, what should I do? And one of my friends was like, you should reach out to them and see if they'll send you a replacement. And I was like, I honestly like don't even need a replacement. I just need a new dust jacket, because mine came ripped like all the way up to the F. So it was like very noticeable. So I emailed Fairy Loot and they were really nice, really accommodating. They took a little while to answer emails, but I know they said they've been like backed up on it, and they said that they would send me a replacement book and that it would take like 20 to 30 days, and they were like, that's what we quote, but it shouldn't take as long as that. And it came within like 3 or 4 days. I was like shocked at how quick they were able to send me a new one. I just want to say, like, Fairy Loot customer service, amazing. But really love this edition. Love the pages. But I especially love what they did under the dust jacket. This is just like next level, like gorgeous. I'm obsessed. Unfortunately, I have not heard the best things about this book, so I'm hoping that I'll end up liking it, because it's really pretty and I don't want to get rid of it, but I'm definitely going in with lower expectations than when I first heard about this one. Then I have Fairy Loot's April YA book of the month, and that is Silver in the Bone by Alexandra Bracken. They didn't really change too much on the cover. They definitely made it like a lot bluer. It's really pretty. Again, like their sprayed pages are just amazing. I just love them so much. Something that I found really interesting about this edition is that they didn't put the title on the spine, which is very unusual. Since there's no title, I think that this is probably going to be one that I display pages out. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was a weird choice. And then underneath the dust jacket, there is character art. I do have to say though, just a little like personal update. I ended up making the really tough decision of canceling my Fairy Loot young adult subscription. Personally, I haven't really been that interested in any of the books that they've offered this year. I am very curious about this one, but Alexandra Bracken is always really hit or miss for me, and honestly, I really only liked Passenger by her, and pretty much every other book of hers that I've read I haven't liked. So I'm not really sure how I'm going to feel about this one. One of my other friends said that it was kind of slow, which makes me feel like I could potentially like this one, but I'm just not sure. So anyway, because I subscribed to the Broken Binding with their new like tier 2 subscription, I decided that I kind of need to let one subscription go, because I have also Fairy Loot Adult and Illumicrate. Yeah, so I decided to cut Fairy Loot YA, and I figured if there's anything that comes out that I really want, I can probably find it secondhand at some point, and it's not worth it to like get books every month that are really pretty but that I'm not necessarily enjoying as much as adult fantasy. Then I got the Fairy Loot edition of In My Dreams I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead. This is one of my favorite thriller books that I've ever read. It was so good. It's dark academia. It takes place at at a college reunion, and it's just amazing. The main character is super unreliable, super unlikable, which is something that usually doesn't work for me, but this is one of those like exception to the rule kind of books. I just adored it. I think it's really pretty, and then the pages are also gorgeous. You can't really see it, but it has like a Latin phrase. Then this is the back of it, and then here is the spine. And then the last fairy loot book that I have to show is The Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sanju Mandana. That one is a very long title, and I could not remember the order that those words went in. But this is a romance novel, and it is a like witchy kind of romance with some magic. So I thought I would take a chance on it, see if I liked it. It's a really pretty edition, so that's why I sprung for it, but I don't know how I'm going to feel. We'll see. This one has ombre pages, and I really liked underneath the cover. I think that's super cute. And then the last special editions that I have to share are the Kiss Quotient books by Illumicrate's Afterlight subscription. So first we have the Kiss Quotient. These are the pages. This is the back. And it also has really beautiful character art on the end papers and underneath the dust jacket. Again, really cute. I really liked the first book and the second book, but I haven't read the third book yet. I just haven't really been reaching for romance lately. When I do, I think I'll end up liking the third book. This one is The Bride Test. Again, really cute. I like all of the little planes on there, sprayed pages. And lastly, the Heart Principle, sprayed pages and papers and naked hardcover. Then moving on to some new releases and backlist books. First, I got Untethered Sky by Fonda Lee. This is her newest release. It is a Tor.com novella. It is really short. It's only like 140 pages, I want to say. It sounds like it's going to be really good. I talked about it in my April SFF releases video, so I'm not going to go over the synopsis again, but I love Fonda Lee, and I have no doubt that I'm going to end up loving this book too. The next set of books I have to pull off of my shelf because I've already placed them right behind me because I already read and loved them. So I actually picked up the entire What's Out of the Red Rising series this month, and I've actually read Red Rising, Golden Sun, and Morning Star, and you will hear more about those in my wrap-up. I still have to read Iron Gold and Dark Age, but this is definitely a new favorite series for me. I am so excited to have gotten into these. Like, I am obsessed. I fell down a very deep hole when it came to these books. I've been like reading so much about them online, watching so many videos about them. I am in love. I'm so glad that I read these. They now have a place right behind me for when I'm filming. Should I show all the covers? I guess so. I mean, I think that you guys have probably already seen these, but we've got Red Rising, which is book 1, Golden Sun, which is book 2, Morning Star, which is book 3, Iron Gold, which is book 4, and Dark Age, which is book 5, and I definitely pre-ordered Lightbringer when Barnes & Noble was having their pre-order sale the other day. Might still be going, not really sure how long that runs, but that is coming as well. My new dilemma is waiting to see if I should start reading the sequels like now, so I'm ready for the next one in July, or if I should wait until I know when the last book, like the final book, which I think is going to be coming next year, is coming out, and then like binge read them closer to that. Or alternatively, I could read these ones, read Lightbringer, and then reread everything before the last book, which is a definite possibility because I am really loving these. Then I got the new bind-up edition of Elric of Melnibone. This is the first book in the series. I said it correctly again, by the way, just, need to point that out. I believe this binds up the first 1 to 3 novels, and it has a new foreword by Neil Gaiman, but instead of a traditional foreword, I believe it's actually a short story that Neil Gaiman has written about Elric, which is a pretty cool way to do a foreword. It also has a beautiful map, and it is a new illustrated version, though the illustrations are in black and white, and from what I can tell, there don't seem to be too many illustrations, but that's fine. It's still I'm glad that they re-released these, and I'm excited to have this for my collection. Then I got a copy of Dragons of the Summer Flame by Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman. This is the 4th and final book in the Dragonlance Chronicles. It's a mass market paperback, so nothing too special there, but I've had books 1 to 3 for so long. I have never been able to find book 4 in the same like cover as I have the other ones in. So thankfully I was perusing on Pango Books the other day, and I was able to find someone that had one for sale at a reasonable price. So I was like, all right, gonna do it, and shipped really quick, came in pretty good condition. So that's one more series that I have completed on my shelf. And speaking of completing series, I also picked up the rest of the Realm of the Elderlings series by Robin Hobb. So now I have all of the books within the series, and I am so excited to continue on in this world. This is the Rainwild Chronicles. So first we've got Dragon Keeper, then we have Dragon Haven, City of Dragons, and Blood of Dragons. I just love the UK paperbacks of Robin Hobb books. They are definitely my favorite of any editions that I have seen released, with the exception of these really pretty like illustrated farcier books that I have, and I really hope that Del Rey will release more of Realm of the Elderlings in that kind of format, because those are just amazing. And then lastly, I also got the short story set in the same world, and that is The Willful Princess and the Piebald Prince. This is like a little novella, and it is a story that is referenced in Realm of the Elderlings. Then I got Atalanta by Jennifer Saint. I'm dropping books here. This is Jennifer Saint's newest Greek myth retelling. Pretty excited to read it. Sounds like it's going to be really good. Again, it's another one that I talked about in my April SFF releases video, so if you want to know more about it, you can go check out that video. I like the gold foiling on the cover, but this isn't like a special edition. I just got this one from Waterstones. And I do also really like the end papers. Then I completed my collection of Full Metal Alchemist books. So I got the last 3 volumes that I was missing, volume 13, volume 14, and volume 17. And I made a little bit more progress this month on Full Metal. I read 3 more volumes, so I'll probably be finishing up this manga series in the next couple of months. Then I got Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. This is a romance novel, and I read this one in January or February, one of those 2 months, and I ended up really loving it. I felt like the anxiety representation in this book was so good and so accurate to the way that I experience anxiety. So I just completely fell in love with this one. I think Abby Jimenez just crafts like such great characters. I feel like a lot of times when I'm reading romance, it can be a little bit bland, and I think that she I don't know, she just has like a knack for making you like care about her characters, and this one was definitely no exception. I absolutely loved it. It's definitely my favorite of hers that I have read so far, and it's also quite possibly one of my favorite romance books ever. Then from publishers, this month I received a book from Orbit, and that is the Josed Heir by Sarah Hashem. I am pretty excited about this one. This is Sarah Hashem's adult fantasy novel debut, and it is an Egyptian-inspired fantasy. I don't think that I've read any Egyptian-inspired fantasy outside of the influences that Neil Gaiman pulled from Egyptian mythology in the Sandman series, so I'm excited to read a full novel based on that mythos. Sounds like it's going to be pretty good. I'm going to take a poll here. I'm not going to include it in this video, but I'm curious to know, would you guys be interested in hearing about the books that I pick up that are ebooks and audiobooks in book hauls, or are you not interested in that? Do you only want to see the physical stuff? Because I definitely do tend to pick up mostly ebooks. Every once in a while I get an audiobook, but I definitely pick up a lot of ebooks throughout the month too. So if that's something that you want to know, tell me, and I'll start including those in book hauls too. But I think that we've gone through enough books for this video. So that's everything that I got in April. Let me know if you've read anything that I have here, if you also got any of the same special editions, or if you're excited about any of the new releases that I talked about. And that's all that I have for this video. So I will see you guys soon in a new one. Bye!